Hey guys, Rick and Duke. Welcome to another episode of Warhog Words of Wisdom. This episode is brought to you by the Firearms Training Notebook. Make sure you guys have a plan for your firearms training. Don't just sit there and willy-nilly it. That way you can sit there and get some tangible data, see what you need to improve, and make yourself that 1% better every single day. So real quick, guys, this episode is going to specifically be talking about red dot sights. Really, for my law enforcement officers, I need you guys to pay attention. If you have friends that are law enforcement officers, please share this episode with them. Here lately, man, I'm seeing a whole bunch of just guys that don't know what they're doing. And I got it. I'm not putting these guys down, but when it comes to educating yourself on a piece of life-saving equipment, do not, let me say it again, do not take the costs into effect. I've seen people that try to go the cheap routes, and next thing you know, they're going through 3, 4, 5 sites when they could have paid quality for something. And we'll talk about aim point acros here in a bit. But it would actually been more cost savings down the road. Plus, too, it's a piece of life-saving equipment. With that, guys, since you're out kind of cruising on the interwebs, do me a huge favor. Swing by warhog.com, kelleydefense.com. Sign up for those newsletters. Trust me, we will not inundate you with a bunch of rubbish. We got more stuff going on. So we get out there and try to push the info as it comes. As far as the Firearms Training Notebook, we have pre-sales going on till February 1st for the spiral bound, right? We talk about always being 1% better. We saw there was, hey, need to make a slight tweak to the notebook. So we're doing a pre-order spiral bound edition till February 1st. You can get that at kelleydefense.com. Guys, do us a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Leave us a rating, review, likes, all that other good stuff on whatever platform you're listening to. That's what's going to help us get the show out there. Lord knows big tech is suppressing everything as far as the industry goes, and we just need your help. Last thing, accountability check. I know, guys, it's been a while, right? I've been busy with stuff. Things have been going on, but here you go. Have you worked out today? If not, you still got time. Have you got that dry or live fire training in? Again, the Firearms Training Notebook will help you accommodate that. What's that act of kindness? What are you grateful for? And really dig deep on that grateful, man. Just don't kind of sit there and, I'm happy for this and that. Really, man, think about what you're grateful for. Every day I wake up, I am absolutely grateful that God gave me the opportunity for that day. I don't want to sit there and swindle it away. And don't forget, do some journaling, some reflecting. Always try to be that 1% better in every single aspect of your life. All right, so let's jump right in this thing. Red dot sights. Really, for the law enforcement, I want to hit these guys, and it will in turn tie in with my law-abiding citizens as well. But really, for the law enforcement officers, I've got to hit on this. So we're starting to see a big transition to pistol red dot sights, which I'm perfectly a fan of. I think they should. Here's where I've got some problems. Number one, it's education, first and foremost. I talked to all kinds of municipalities all across the country, and it's usually somebody looking at a price tag versus actually what optic, or let me rephrase, what piece of life-saving equipment they're going to attach that handgun to ensure their officer safety. I've talked to some agencies that, so what'd you do for a test? Oh, we tested it. As soon as you tell me that, you haven't done nothing, right? You haven't actually shot this thing in the rain. You haven't gone in adverse conditions. You haven't actually trucked through the woods with it. You don't have thousands of rounds of this thing. You haven't inadvertently dropped it, banged it, done some things to test the reliability and ruggedness of it. Heck, they don't even know the difference between a enclosed and an open emitter red dot sight. And I'm not saying this to put anyone down, but you have to get educated on what you're doing. Is the guy at the gun shop, and I've had, departments go, yeah, the guy at the gun shop recommended it. Well, is he the subject matter expert? I mean, let's think about it, guys, right? There needs to be some things that go on. For those of you that know me, if you're new to the show, I'll tell you straight up, when it comes to red dot optics, aim point's my choice. That's the optic I bet my life on all my platforms. You can also use the new code, right? So if you're listening to the show before, the old code, I can talk here. The old code has changed. The new one is Warhog, WARHOGG 624. But I will tell you guys this, if you swing by warhog.com, just double check because I will make sure I always update it. Certain points, aim point's going to change it out. So, but in another 6 months, we'll probably get a new one. So just make sure you're always, if it doesn't work for some reason, swing by the website and you can pick up the new one there. Now, let's just talk about red dot sights. So probably going, Rick, what do you mean by this open and enclosed emitter? Well, if you can imagine, if you have an open emitter, what that basically means is there's nothing protecting that emitter from shining that red dot up in the glass and seeing that red dot sight. A lot of companies sit there and have them, right? The problem is if you get any type of dirt, debris, rain, whatever on there, you can potentially lose that red dot sight. Where if you have something such as an enclosed emitter, looking at the Aimpoint Acro P2 specifically, or even their P1, it's enclosed in a box. So kind of what you're used to seeing when it comes to your rifle optics, it's enclosed. So I'm not worried about rain, dirt, debris, anything like that getting on that emitter and losing my dot. And then, oh, by the way, the durability, right? Trust me, I am not, when it comes to my firearms and optics, I'm not gingerly bubble wrapping them and treating them with all this caution, right? They're a tool to be used. Part of it is for me to test it and see, hey, do we have any issues, dramas, things going on with it? I will tell you straight up, there are optics out there, especially in your open emitter stuff. We had one guy, his dot kept getting bigger and bigger. I said, well, does your glass, I kind of looked at his optics, said, hey, does your glass look right? Because to me, it looked like it was kind of protruding further out. But again, I'd never used this optic before, so I don't have any basis for it. It wasn't my piece of equipment. He's like, yeah, I guess so. Well, long story short, couple rounds, mags, whatever it was later, his glass popped out of the optic. Now it's gone, right? I mean, you've got to be savvy as far as, hey, if things aren't going right, start problem solving. In that case, and I forget the brand of that one. In that case, the glass came totally out. So now his red dot sight is null and void. You got to make sure that with whatever red dot sight you put on there, do you have a set of iron sights if something happens to that optic that you can still use? I'll tell you straight up, I'm going to call a spade, right? I see a lot of people buying Holosuns. Here's my problem with Holosun. Number one, they're a communist Chinese-made optic. Communist China, right? Let's think about that. You want to bet your life on those guys? I personally don't. The other thing is that be aware, the ones that have the solar panels on top. We were doing law enforcement transition course, and these guys opted to buy one of them that had the solar panel. Why? I have no idea. I figure half the shift you're working at night, or half the guys are working at night. I don't know what the purpose of the solar panel is, or it's sitting in the holster. But anyway, his metal wedding band ended up cracking that solar panel, and then in turn dropping some debris from that busted solar panel inside that optic. The next, he's got an intermittent dot because as he's firing, there's different debris in there covering up the red dot. So you have to be aware at what you're buying. So it was one of those that we weren't even to lunch yet. He didn't even get a full day of training in. Now that's money gone, right? Swap out, grab you a spare. Luckily they had bought some spares, but that's a fail point safe there. If you are an agency and you're going to do some no kidding T&E on optics, make sure you're getting all the variables. I talked to one agency the other day. Hey, what'd you get? Well, I think they, what do I think they had? A Leopold Delta Pro. I think they had something from SIG, maybe a Trigicon. I was like, well, where's your Acro at? Oh, we didn't get one. Well, why not? Most of these companies will give you a T&E model to test it out and run it through its paces, right? That's the whole intent of these T&E models. If you're not running the full gamut, and I asked, it's like, why are you running with all open emitters? Oh, I don't know. Well, education, right? Education. So, guys, if you're a law enforcement officer, look at, and you got questions on it, reach out. We want to help you. We want to support you. We want to make sure that you're making the best decisions possible. Reach out to companies such as Aimpoint. Go, hey, this is who I am. I'm Range Master X or Pistol Sight T&E Guy Y, whatever. Hey, can we get 1 or 2 samples sent down for a 90-day T&E? And make sure you're laying out your T&E process accordingly. And I got it, guys. You don't want to go out in the rain and shoot. You got to. It might be snowing out there, right? Depending on what time of the year. You got to get out there. I got it. You don't want to sit there and go through the dirt, the mud, all the other stuff. You got to. Physical duress, get after it, right? Go from that heated car to cold conditions or vice versa, cold car to heated outside, whatever weather temperature you're looking at. Hey, man, does the optic fog up? And then how many rounds are you setting aside to actually shoot this thing? Are you just shooting training ammo? Are you shooting duty ammo? Doing a combination? What are you doing? What is your testing protocol to go, this meets what we're looking for to issue out to our officers, knowing they've got the potential to be in a deadly force encounter and need to rely on that piece of equipment to save their life? And then the other part to that is, well, you want to treat them like a 3-year-old on the range. You don't want to empower them. So what's a guy do that he starts the afternoon shift running a red dot sight? It's starting to transition to low light. Some point he's got to pull that pistol out. At some point he's got to adjust that dot. You got policies, procedures worked for that? Have you trained them how to do it? Are they familiar with all the button settings, things that go with those optics? And don't let the bells and whistles, like why you want all these added reticles in there. Have a pure red dot clean. 3.5 minutes of angle works perfect. And then train these guys on how to use it. Not sure how to do a red dot transition course? Hit me up. We'll definitely take care of you. Right? And then it's funny because what kills me is when you sit there and I had an officer reach out going, hey, we're getting ready to transition over to, to red dots. I guess the pistols have already been purchased. Wanted to try to get his pistol early to try to get some training on it beforehand. And the agency was like, oh, no, he hasn't been trained on it yet. And the officer presented that he was going to come to one of my courses, right? Oh, you don't think I can train your officer in how to properly use that red dot sight? Now, granted, we weren't looking for him to carry it on duty, right? Just get some training with it. So guys, you got to apply some common sense here, right? Because I'll tell you straight up, some of the things I've seen at your ranges, and I'm saying yours as far as my law enforcement officers, dude, it's criminal, right? You're treating officers like they're 3-year-olds. You're not empowering them in the range to think, problem solve. But then you expect once they leave that place to go out there and do grandeur. Well, half the time or the things I see, these officers put themselves in a pinch. It's not so much them. They just don't know what to do. It's lack of training, which is all built on the flat range, which, you can build when you're transitioning them over to the red dot sights. But quit letting money make that decision on what you buy. It's a piece of life-saving equipment. I got it. Go out there, purchase the best product on the market. For me, I'll tell you straight up, I'll say it over and over again, Aimpoint Acro. Right? And I know they've got their different law enforcement programs. So make sure you're educated. And then, by the way, if you're looking to get an Aimpoint, I would definitely use code WARHOG624 and save you some money as well. Right? Why not? Right? They threw it out to me. Why not you guys take advantage of it? But guys, please get educated. Pretty much everything I said, that plays right in to my law-abiding citizens, with the exception of being you might not have the opportunity to do a quote-unquote T&E. But I guarantee you got plenty of buddies with different optics out there. Go out there and ask them, hey, man, let me give that thing a run. Let me check it out. Let me see how it works. Why wouldn't you? But guys, you've got to get educated on what you're doing. Patrons, stand by. We're going to have some more details for you. That's right, guys. If you're not part of our OTR Patreon crew, that's right, they get exclusive after the show content. We're going to make sure you get them some added info in there. If you're looking to be part of the Patreon crew, go to patreon.com/on the range podcast. Great crew of people there looking to make them 1%. I can talk. Looking to make themselves 1% better every single day. Bi-monthly Zoom calls with me and Mark. 100 plus training videos on there. We try to give these guys some exclusive stuff. If you guys are kicking the can, don't worry. You get a free trial on there, right? So you can go to patreon.com on the range podcast, sign up, check out the free trial. We'll try to put out when we're doing our Zoom calls, preferably check out one of the Zoom calls we do, and hopefully you'll see kind of some of these behind the scenes. So patrons, stand by. We got more stuff for you. For the rest of you guys, be educated on your red dot sites. Make sure you're purchasing the proper item to ensure you're maximizing your safety, and for my law enforcement officers, your officer safety. Guys, on that note, God bless you. God bless your families. God bless our troops. God bless the United States of America. Patrons, stand by. All right, patrons, we're back. Guys, couldn't do it without you. Appreciate all your support. Yeah, it's been a while, right? Bunch of things going on as far as with me, just life in general popping up. So apologize for being such a long delays, but the red dot sites, yeah, that's something that's starting to become near and dear because I'm seeing way too many departments and officers, individuals just making some poor decisions on what they're purchasing. So I would just tell you guys this, from me to you, aim point acro, that's the way, that's what I'm going to push. That's what I'm going to recommend all day long. Aim point did change the code on us. So it's WARHOG 624. Save you some bucks with aim point. If you're prior law enforcement military, I think, I'm not sure. I got to ask them. I'll see them at SHOT here, but I'm not sure if they're using that code in conjunction with, but heck, doesn't matter. Try to jam it in there as well. But for military and law enforcement, I know they're doing a 30% discount on that. So anyway, guys, excuse me. You always know you got questions when it comes to dots. Some of you guys have made the comment, hey, the acro is a little too big. I personally don't think so. That's just me. But if you got any questions when it comes to dots, definitely reach out, ask, we'll get those questions answered. I'll say it again. I'm not a super fan of the HoloSense, right? Communist China made optic. I personally don't want to bet my life on it. That's just me. But again, I'll leave everything to what people want to do. But for you guys, just make sure you're making the smart decisions. If you got questions, definitely reach out. So red dots are becoming the way of the future here when it comes to handguns, and that's all it is. So anyway, guys, appreciate your support. Again, to you guys, to my patrons, we love you guys. And again, make sure you guys are being 1% better every single day. God bless you, your families, our troops, and God bless the United States of America. Rick and Duco out.